And we have Andrew Gerbitz today, and he's going to be telling us all about Andrew's voice. So take it away, Andrew.
Thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. I am excited to be a part of this ability fair. Everyone has unique abilities. Setting high expectation encourages people to grow and discover these abilities all through my life. I have had high expectations. At first, my parents set those expectations for me. Now I have high expectations of myself.
It was a couple of years ago, we had you on Ability MKE Now at River West Radio, and very impressive at that point. And I've kind of followed you a little bit as you have just grown and gained more in your life. So what really brought you into wanting to do this?
I want to do this because I like to talk to everybody with disabilities, even where I work. That's why I see at Past Farms in Oconomowoc.
So do you have a presentation that you want to show us, please?
Yes.
Excellent. Why don't you go right ahead with that, please?
I am told that soon after I was born in 1983, my parents took me to a center for early intervention. That means therapists worked to give me a good start. They told my mom how to hold and position me so that my little muscle tone would improve. During the first 3 years of my life, called birth to 3, there were physical, occupational, and speech therapists who worked with me. Everyone had high expectations for me. In 1988, when I started kindergarten, I was in a classroom with kids who had no disabilities. That was really important. It is called inclusion. That is how my education continued almost always alongside students without disabilities. Around the year 2000, when I was in high school, lots of attention focused on what happens after high school, like jobs. That is called transition. It is important to know what you are going to do when your public school education ends. It is also important to set high employment expectations. It seems that I was born at exactly the right time. I had the advantages of early intervention, inclusion, and transitioning. My mom and dad were not quite sure that I was getting the schooling I needed to be all I could be. So I started 7th grade. They began to homeschool me. My homeschooling was often done away from home. I volunteered at Old Grove, Wisconsin, an outdoor historic museum, not far from my parents' home. Eventually, I was hired there. I cleaned the restaurant. I was good at it, well liked by my employers, and paid very well. Did I want to clean toilets at 5 a.m. for the rest of my life? Now if something better were possible. My parents and I had higher employment expectations. We were looking for meaningful work within my community. Next, I volunteered at an early intervention center and also had a paying job there. I volunteered in the summer as an aide to swimming instructors. I started Special Olympics, where I participate in basketball and swimming. I also started babysitting for my young nieces and nephews. By the time I graduated from high school in 2002, I had decided on a career in childcare. There were plenty of people who said, I never get hired. but I did not pay a whole lot of attention to them. I had high employment expectations and worked to make my dreams come true. My sister-in-law and my mom taught me one step at a time how to care for my nieces and nephews. The next step to fulfill my employment dreams was to get certified semesters at Oconomowoc High School. Then I graduated again in 2004. I really enjoyed my time at Oconomowoc High School. I finally completed my certification through the early education station by correspondence. My first job was not a good fit for me, so I gave 2 weeks notice, then I quit. That was very discouraging, but I did not give up my employment dreams. I continued to work at another center and remained there until it closed. By that time, I was working at my present job. I have worked at the YMCA at Past Farms in Oconomowoc in the child care center for the past 13 years. I work with 4 and 5-year-old children in my community. I love my job. I must earn the required number of credits to keep my certification. I have CPR, trained, take classes in first aid and shaken baby syndrome and other childcare related issues. Did I mention that I love my job? More than 10 years ago, I moved out of my parents' home and into my own apartment, about 2 miles from where I worked. That was one of the most exciting days of my life. I always wanted to live on my own. I used to ride my bike to work and to shops and my bank or use Uber to get where I want to go. Now I drive my own car. I took an online driver's education course, earned my learner's permit, and practiced a lot. It took a few years, but I kept at it. I had high expectations. The why where I work is free membership to staff, so I get to swim and work out there every day. I have lots of friends who work there. It's a safe place for us to hang out together. We all love our jobs. The Y also sponsors the Special Olympic sports that I participate in. I am especially proud of my 2 gold medals for swimming the 400-meter freestyle. I, I have been recognized as a good spokesperson or advocate for others who have disabilities. I have been invited to speak at conferences and fundraisers and schools. I like to share my experience, and I am often told that I am good at it. In addition to my career in childcare, I have another employment dream. I am working with my support team to build a motivational speaking business. Starting a business is not easy, but now I have 2 jobs that I love. I have been affected by COVID-19. Of course, the childcare center at the Y was closed for a while. I could not speak to large groups for my business, but I wanted to work. I saw an advertisement at the grocery store where I shop, so I applied. I hired I was hired to bake groceries at Metro Market. I was glad to be working again. Now the childcare center has reopened. I am able to speak to groups online. I have 3 jobs that I love. What is the worst thing that happened to me because of COVID-19? Our wedding was postponed. My wife and I planned to be married on May 30th. we had a cookout instead. It was a sad day. Our new wedding day was Saturday, September 5th. I am excited to be sharing my life and my apartment with the woman I love. And I like to introduce to my wife, Maddie Gerbitz. Thanks for letting me tell you about my life and dreams. I hope you will set high expectations for yourself and your loved ones so that you and they can have lives that each one loves. Thank you.
That was great, Andrew. Very much an inspiration to so many people. It's amazing what you do with your life, and it's encouraging to everyone, especially with COVID, with that going on. Has that affected you more in your desire to go out and speak to groups, or how are you doing that?
I'm doing it online now, so and so if I didn't do it online, um, if there was no COVID, I've been speaking to groups right now.
You got to speak to a grandparents group recently, didn't you?
Right.
Tell us about that.
I did the grandparents for the Down Syndrome Association of Wisconsin. That's in West Dallas, the headquarters, and I spoke there to the grandparents.
In a regular quote unquote year, how many speaking engagements do you think you would do, say, last year in 2019? How many different times were you out speaking to groups?
In 2019, I think I had quite a few presentations and not quite a few, but a lot.
Right. Now, somebody else would be interested in becoming a speaker, or I think oftentimes they wonder if it's even something they should try doing. I know you would very highly encourage them, but have you helped anyone else with becoming a speaker, or talk to some people about what it's like to become a speaker?
That's a very good question. I like to encourage other people to become a speaker. Um, I know my wife Maddie. She's learning how to be a speaker too, and I like to encourage her to speak. So, and I don't think she's nervous. She'll try. So, if I encourage her, and support her.
So if somebody wanted to have you speak to their group, are you doing those through a Zoom, or how are you doing that? Well, like the grandparents group you just did, was that in person or was that something virtual?
Yeah, virtual. Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you do that? So did you use a Zoom account or something like that?
Well, I use Zoom, and I like to learn how to use Zoom to do it online to speak to groups. Yes. I know the school's been closed since COVID, but if they have something like a group like online, I still happy to do it.
Okay, that's really good. Where do you see yourself going with your next high expectations for your life?
Well, next year, in 2021, we're going on our honeymoon to Marco Island, Florida. We'd like to show you something. This is my wedding ring,
Nice.
and
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
That is so cool. Congratulations. Belated, but congratulations.
thank you.
andrewsvoice.com, and reach out and book Andrew for your next presentation. Get things ready for next year. So, all right. Thank you very much. Anything else that you wanted to add in, or?
I don't think so.
Excellent.
How about you? No, that's it.
Awesome.